friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the not very often displayed part of my bookshelf. These are the lower these are the lower shelves. I'm here today to do a video which is kind of a tag. Sean the Book Maniac posted this video and he got the idea from Jack in the Books. So Sean said he was weaponizing the video. So he made it into a tag, kind of, and I guess I'm doing it. So the video is about books that I need to read from my shelves this year, or I need to unhaul them. I'm not sure that I want to unhaul any of my books that are on this shelf. I'm really not sure about that, but I think I could use this as motivation to read these books, because I don't often think about the books that are on this part of the shelf, which is why we're here. So let's just look at some of the books that I own that I don't often talk about, and that when I bought them, I really wanted to read them, and I think I'm still interested in them. I just don't think about them very often. But here are some of the books. So let me come on this side. So yeah, just looking. Here's a book that's all the way in the back. Goodbye Vitamin by Rachel Kong. I've put this book on TBRs before and just never gotten to it. So I'm not sure that I really want to read it. Except I think I do. It's under 200 pages. It should be easy to read. But I don't know. So I'm saying that if I don't read this book this year, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to sell it, or I'm going to donate it to the library. There are places that I could give books to. So if I don't read this book this year, I'm going to unhaul it. But I'm going to put it back. I'm going to put it back here in the interim, okay? Because I don't really have space. I don't really have space on the shelf. I'm going to put it back there just in case. But I'll come back to this video for reference. So, you know how I'm doing this challenge where I need to read 25 books from my shelves? That could be one of them. Here's some other books that I need to read, or I need to unhaul them. So this one, I started reading this years ago. I went to the bookstore. I think I went to Book Culture and I started reading a copy of this book, and I really, really liked it. And so I bought a copy. I didn't buy the copy in the bookstore. I know, spat me on my hand. I went and got this. I went to the Goodwill. That's where I got this. I went to the Goodwill like a few days later and I saw this and I said, well, isn't this kismet? So I bought this and I took it home, and then I proceeded to not read it. So I'm really interested in the story. It's a novel, but it's kind of, I think it's like autofiction, like kind of meta fiction. I think. I could be wrong, but Unloved by Alain de Botton. It feeds into my Francophilia, like the main characters. Or am I wrong about that? No, they're on, yeah. They meet on board a flight to Paris. And I was like, I mean, how romantic is that? Really wanted to read the story several years ago. Do I still want to read this story? I'm not sure. I think so. I'm going to say yes. So I'm saying that I need to read this year. And if I don't read it, I need to give it away. That's one. This book I have owned for a long time. And I think everybody knows the story. Like, it's two teenagers who fall in love, and one or both of them are sick with some disease. Do they have cancer? Something. It's something terrible. some tragic, yeah, some tragic thing happens to these characters. And so I know that there's a movie, and I have not seen the movie. I haven't watched the movie, but I know that there's a really popular movie, and I know that this is a really popular story. And I've read tons of John Green books, like The Abundance of Catherine, which was not good, and Finding Alaska, which was good, and Paper Towns, which was, I thought, really, really good. And Turtles All the Way Down, I really enjoyed. So why have I not read this when this is the only of his books that I own? I'm not sure. But I'm going to say that I need to make a decision on this year. I need to read it. I don't necessarily want to unhaul it without reading it. So I'm going to say that I need to read it this year. Like, these are just like making a definitive mark on my list of books that I need to read from my shelves this year before I buy new books. So I don't want to put all my books on that list because I'm not going to read all of my bookshelf. But here's some of the things. Like, some of these books have been just like lingering for a long time. This was longlisted for the Booker Prize in 2014. You know which other books were on the Booker list for 2014? I think this one. Yeah. This is 2014, right? We Need New Names by Violet Bulawayo. So how come I've read this one and haven't read this one when I've owned both of them for around the same amount of time? Not quite sure. Is it because it's a male author? When at a time when I was only reading, or not only, but at a time when I was really going after books by women authors? I'm not sure. Is it because the author is a white man? No, I read tons of books by white men. See previous discussion about John Green books. So is it because it's about marriage? Purchased at a time when I was as single as it was possible to be? I don't know. So let's see. Blurbed by Jojo Moyes, author of Me Before You, which I own 2 copies of. Hello. So if this lady blurbed my book, how come I didn't want to read this book? I don't know. It's been on my shelves for... Okay, so here's the book cover. And here is not the flyleaf. Here's the end. So here... Okay, so you can tell that this book has been around a long time because it's a book that I obviously removed the dust jacket at some point because I was playing a game with my book, something that I haven't done a lot of in the last how old is my daughter? Yeah, so this book has been hanging around for a really long time, and I need to make a decision on this book this year. So I'm going to read it or I'm going to give it away. Another book like that. Okay, so showing you guys all of my secrets, right? So I read this and no, hold on a second. Maybe I didn't read this. Okay, so this is the author of the Silver Linings Playbook, which I did read. That book is a movie. Bradley Cooper and Jennifer. Is her name Jennifer Williams? No. What's her name? Jennifer. You know. It's the movie where the guy has a mental issue and he's gorgeous and he's coming out of a mental breakdown and institutionalized stay, and he's in, I don't know, how do I say that, but yeah, that's that book. And so I think because I really liked Silver Linings Playbook, I bought The Good Luck of Right Now, as well as Love May Fail by Matthew Quick. and I can't recall if I've read any of them. It would have been this, but I can't remember reading it. I can't remember actually reading this book. This one is about a man who, when his mother dies, he's going through her, like he's going through her belongings and finding out things about her that he didn't know and realize that he didn't want to know. I think is how that book starts, but I don't think I actually read it, so I'm not sure. But in any case, I read Silver Linings Playbook by the author. Read that from the library, obviously. Own 2 books by the same author, and I don't think I've read either one of them. So need to make a decision on these books this year. So how many books do we have so far? We have the Vitamin K book, these 3, these 2. That makes 5. I don't want to put all my books on this list, but here's one book that should definitely be on this list. This one, Khaled Hosseini's And the Mountains Echoed. So Khaled Hosseini is known for 3 books, right? The Kite Runner, And the Mountains Echoed, and A Thousand Splendid Suns. I have read The Kite Runner, and I really, really liked it years ago when I read it. Can't remember everything that happens in the story, but I remember it being really profound about, you know, life in, is he Iranian? It's Iran, right? Afghanistan. Why did I think he was Iranian? Anyway, I remember the book being really profound, and I said I wanted to read everything that he wrote, and so I bought And the Mountains Echoed, as well as A Thousand Splendid Suns. I'm not sure where that book is. I'm not sure where that one is, but I guess it's not fair that if I haven't read them in several years, I don't want to put both of them on my TBR for this year. So I'm gonna add And the Mountains Echoed to this list because I think it's time. Like, he published a short book, Sea Prayer, a few years ago. Like, it was a picture book. It was really, really an impactful statement as well about the refugee crisis and just how terrible of an experience it can be to be a refugee. And it reminded me that I need to read his books, but I haven't yet. So yeah, putting this one on the list, And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini. So that's 7, 3 and 3, 6 and 1, 7. I think Sean did 8, so I'm gonna do one more, guys, one more. I've mentioned this book in lists. For some reason, I have just never picked it up to read it. So this is the year that I read The Reader by Bernard Schlink, right? I think it's time. I think it's time to read it or not. It's 218 pages. I could read this in a day. Like, seriously, I could read this in one day. So there's no reason for these books to linger unread on my shelves and I just talk around them and not read them. So yeah, those are the books that I'm saying I need to read this year. Like, I have a challenge where I need to read 25 books from my shelves before I can buy books recreationally. So yeah, these books need to be on that list, or I need to give them away, donate them to the library or something. There are tons of other books on here that are unread. I'm not ready. Like, okay, since you're here, I'll show you. Here are the books on this shelf that I haven't yet read. A Tall History of Sugar, this Colm Toybin, this, oh, okay, so I should tell you titles, right? This is The Master, this is Brooklyn, both by Colm Toybin, this is Little Bee by Chris Cleave, I haven't yet read. Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer, I plan to read this year, but I'm not making it a part of this video just because I'm not sure. I was gonna read it for a challenge where I needed to read a book by an author with 3 names, but I read something else from my shelves, so I give myself a pass on that one for now. I've read all of those. This is Black Glass by Karen Joy Fowler. I have never heard anyone speak about this book, and I found this copy, this hardcover copy, at the Dollar Tree for $1 back when the Dollar Tree was $1. So I bought it, but if I don't read it, that's fine. If I don't read it now. This is the last Gillian Flynn book that I haven't yet read, so I've been saving it, so I'm not putting a time when I have to read this book. That's why these don't come up. When Gillian Flynn publishes a new book, I will read this one. But so far I've read Gone Girl, loved it. Read Sharp Objects, really I can't say that I love that book because it's traumatic. But yeah, I thought it was brilliantly executed as well. And her novella, The Grown Up, love her writing. So saving Dark Places by Gillian Flynn for another time. The Circle by Dave Eggers has been on TBRs at some point, and I've never picked it up. So saving that. And then these Toni Morrison books are going to get read at some point because I'm trying to read all of her books. So we'll leave that for now. Not including them on any other challenge because they've been mentioned. They're kind of been included. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, I read like a long time ago, like when I was a child, and I said I need to reread it. But at some point I'll get to it. Just maybe not this year, just because I have a lot of other classics that I'm reading. Then The Return by Hisham Matar. I should have included, but we'll see. Maybe for Nonfiction November we'll get to this, but maybe we'll do another version of this challenge by then. So that's for another time. And then these three are also unread. This is Marisha Pessel's Special Topics in Calamity Physics. This is one of those books that I'm interested in because it has physics in the title. Like the actual word physics is really interesting to me. Like we did a challenge, we did a list around that idea during Vlogmas, right? Books that aren't sci-fi that have science sounding titles, or yeah. So I want to read this. I read her book Night Film and really found it interesting. Love the multimedia composition of that book, like reading things that are newspaper clippings and things that link to online sources that are included in the novel. Love that. And so I don't know what this is going to be about. At some point I'll get to it. Maybe not this year, but that's fine. Then this is one that I'm really interested in because I know there's a movie, and I think John Krasinski's in the movie. That's Jim from The Office. And so I wanted to read the book. This is Brief Interviews with Hideous Men by David Foster Wallace. David Foster Wallace gave us that book up there, Infinite Jest. Oh, you can't see it, right? Infinite Jest, the huge mammoth that's on my shelves, which I may or may not get to this year. But I thought I would get another one of his books because I've heard good things about his writing. I feel like his style is going to be for me, like especially when it comes to these kinds of books. But we'll see. Haven't read anything from him yet. And then this is Tangerine by Christine Mangan, which I don't know. I just saw it in the bookstore back in the day when I'd go to the bookstore and buy books for $1 at the Goodwill. I mean, when I say bookstore, I meant the Goodwill. So I think Dee Dee, was it Dee Dee who read this book? I can't remember. I don't remember who read this book and said some good things about it, but it mentions Donna Tartt and Gillian Flynn, which yes, have read and have enjoyed things from them. So this one I want to read. This is set in, is it Tangier? Yeah, and it's a debut novel, so I don't know. We'll see, but I'm not sure that I want to read that this year because can't read all my books. But these eight, uno, dos, I'm teaching my daughter to count in Spanish. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, and the Vitamin K novel, which I probably shouldn't have put back there. Ocho. So 8 books that I should read this year, or I need to unhaul them. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have some books that have been lingering on your shelves, unread, undecided for a long time. And are you ready to make a decision this year? Do you want to do this tag? Please check it out. I'll link Sean's video as well as the original video, because you probably already watched Jack in the Books. Is it Jack in the Books or Jack in the Box? Jack in the Book Box? I don't know. I'll link those videos if I can in the description box, so you can go check out the original or the former videos that I got inspired by. So yeah, let's chat in the comments. If you've read any of these books that you want to tell me, Karen, just skip it. Just skip it. Let's chat down there as well about those things. So yeah. Let's talk in the comments. Let's talk in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and until we come back with another video, happy reading. Bye.